In this lesson, we're going to take a look at some ragtime picking that's going to help you become a better finger picker. Hey there, John here with the Blues Guitar Institute, and this is your Tuesday Blues. And in this lesson, we're going to build your finger independence on your picking hand, and we're going to do that by honing in on a syncopated melody. What is syncopation? Well, it's when you create a disturbance in the rhythm. If we play this little piece like what you just heard, and I'll just focus on the first bar to really illustrate what the syncopation is all about. If we play on top of the beat, that's kind of expected, and it would sound like this. Just looping that over. And it sounds okay, there's definitely nothing wrong with that, but listen to what happens when we syncopate it and pay close attention to what we do with the melody on beat 3. Throw that second melody note off by an 8th note, and it kind of creates that little unexpected moment in the piece, in this one simple measure here. All right, and we're going to do that over 4 bars here as we kind of pull from that example piece that I played at the beginning and get this syncopation thing happening in your playing. We're doing this over a C chord, and then we cycle after 2 bars over to an E major chord, and then you could loop this around from there. We're doing an alternating bass, and if you're not familiar with that, then you can check out some lessons that I've got on alternating bass, and I'll link those for you in the lesson notes. But right here what we're doing is a 5-4-6-4, meaning 5th string, 4th string, 6th string, 4th string. And to catch that 6th string, while we're in C, we got to drop down and catch this G on the 6th string, 3rd fret. Cool sound. And then when we get to the E, we're just going to alternate between the 6th and the 4th string, okay? Now when we bring the melody in, that's where we start to break this natural tendency of moving your fingers and your thumb at the same time. This is, to me, the first step in gaining some independence between your thumb and your fingers, okay? And we're keeping things nice and simple. We're only going to involve one finger and the thumb. So you could use whatever picking technique you like. If you need to find your picking technique, I'll link a video to help you do that. My technique is thumb and 3 fingers, so I'm going to pick the top string with my ring finger. And that's the first measure. We're playing that alternating bass line, and we're going to pinch on beat 2, so 1, 2. For beat 3, this is where the syncopation comes in. We're going to hit the bass, and then on the end of 3, the G on the 1st string, 3rd fret, before returning to the 4th string for the bass. For the second bar, what we're going to do is start out by pinching the bass with the melody. Melody is still here on the 3rd fret of the 1st string, that G note, and our bass line is still going to be this for the second measure. So we're going to pinch for a quarter note, and then we're going to hit our bass on beat 2, that's at the 4th string, and then for the end of 2, we're going to have a little bit of syncopation here. We're going to play off the beat. So lift your little finger up and hit the open E note. All right. Then we've got our bass on the G, the low G, and then on the end of 3, we're syncopating again, but here I want you to put that little finger down on the D, on the 2nd string, 3rd fret, before finishing out the bass. All right, that's a little hint of what's to come. We're moving the melody from E to D, and then we're going to change into our E chord. All right, but let's make sure we've got those first 2 bars down. All right, before we go any further, I want to point out the fact that you could take this to much higher levels than just this. This is a simplistic baseline example of syncopating the melody and kind of moving things off beat just a little bit to create some interest, and tactically for us finger pickers, it starts to build the skill of separating these fingers from the thumb, okay? Now let's move on and run this basic picking pattern through an E chord here. So you can fret up your E, or why not an E7. So go ahead and put that little finger back down on the D note there, because that's what we're going to play in just a second. We're going to do a 6/4 bass line. So this is a little simpler over the E chord than what we did over C. Okay, so 6/4 the whole time for 2 full measures. And here's the first measure over E. All right, so we've got bass by itself for beat 1. We're going to pick the bass and the open first string for beat 2. This is the same as before, just now over a different chord. And then we're going to come back and hit the bass and then our D note. It's kind of creating this E7 sound here, and that D note on the second string, by the way, before rounding this out with our bass, okay? All right, for the second measure over E, we're going to pinch the 2 outer strings, then the bass, then on the and of 2, we're going to hit that open first string again. Then we go back to the bass, and on the end of 3, we're going to hit that D note again, second string, 3rd fret, before finishing out with the bass. So these 2 measures in E are. All right, let's put these together slowly from C to our E, or E7. All right, let's speed it up and add some punch to it just so you can really hear that this thing can be used in a real ragtime situation. All right, so with some speed and a little more attention to the dynamics, you can build this out into a really cool snapshot of a ragtime piece. But the real point here is that we're building that skill of moving our thumb and our fingers to a spot where they can operate independently. That's the real goal here. All right, I hope you found this useful, but listen, there is just no replacement for time spent practicing this stuff, okay? You've got to put in the time to get your muscle memory going and to really get your fingers to do what you want them to do. It takes a lot of time. It's hard work, but the rewards are really pretty sweet. To help you with that, I've got a guide of 5 essential fingerpicking exercises. All you got to do is sign up and I'll send you exercises. And by the way, if you want to really improve your ability to syncopate and build that independence, focus on exercises 4 and 5. All right, that's it for this lesson. Come on back next Tuesday where we break down another cool acoustic blues concept. Until then, practice smart and play on.